What the heck am I supposed to eat? You follow this nutrition guru, that nutrition guru, all these people on social media, and eventually you are afraid to eat any food. And so let's figure out today what we can actually eat.
This is the game of food. This is the game of food. We're helping real people get real results with delicious food. Real food. Live from Spencer's home studio, podcasting to the world. This is Game of Food. And here's your host, Spencer Frederick.
So you follow these people online or maybe in person at your local gym, and they're these fit people that look like they have their health and fitness under control, or they look really good, whatever, and they're all preaching a different story on what they eat. And I made a list of things that I've seen, and some of them I've even done. The first one I've done, when I was first starting in the gym business, I bought rights to meal plans that I wanted to give out at the gyms, and that it did not include fruit, and it discouraged fruit because it was a low sugar plan, and fruit is a sugar. I will never do that again. Fruit is good for you to eat, and it's not like candy. It is usually lower calories, so fruit is okay. But you can't eat fruit based on some people and who you follow. You can't eat red meat. Some people, you can't eat fats. For some plans, you can't have carbohydrates, no sugar, no fast food, no restaurants at all. For some people, they don't eat anything unless it's organic. And that can be very confusing for the general population. I don't care if anybody follow those things. You should do what you believe in, or you should do what you think makes your body and health better. I believe in that. But for the general population, this is very confusing. And I know exactly how people are feeling, because when I first had interest in nutrition, it was super confusing. And I found myself bouncing from plan to plan, finding the right plan. And it was hard. I had to sift through the crap. Luckily, I have a degree and I was able to sift through some of this crap earlier than probably most people. But you guys are busy with your own career, your own life, family, and all this stuff. You don't have time to invest hours and hours of research and reading to figure out, hey, what am I supposed to be doing? And what you should be doing is eating any and all food. And that's the truth. The truth is, the number one problem is overeating. The number one problem is not food sources, like should I be eating organic bananas? The number one problem is eating too much. And that's why I'm going to forever teach that unless there is a better plan. And if there's ever a better plan, I will switch gears so that I can better help people. I always want to teach the easiest plan and the one that works the best, and the one that's the most realistic. The most realistic and sustainable plan is what I am always going to teach. And right now, we have a big problem with overeating. That's how we gain the weight. That's how we get unhealthy. And I can guarantee if you cut out the overeating and you get into a calorie deficit, one, you're going to get great results. And two, your blood work is going to improve. Your doctor's going to be happy with you. Those things. That simple. And so all food should be allowed. You just need to limit the portions. You can't overdo it. You have to know when to shut off eating. That's the way you should be thinking. And when you finally accept that, or when you finally test that and you experience it and you get results that way with any foods, it can be a freeing thing. I call it food freedom. And that's why I'm always going to teach that. Unless something changes and there's an easier way. A more simple way. Because when people start a plan, there's just so much information and so much misbeliefs in their head that's kind of the reason they quit, because they're like, oh my gosh, yesterday I did not have brown rice. It was white rice. I'm so sorry. I'm off track. I'll do better next time. Like, whoa. That's okay. We're solving overeating. And really it creates a lot more shame than what it needs to, because somebody goes off by one little crumb in their nutrition plan and they want to fold, they want to quit, is because they went off by a little bit. So you need a more simple, broad plan that produces results and includes the foods that you actually like to eat. Because if you're not doing something, I have my notes right in front of me, you can only white knuckle your way through a diet for so long. You know what I mean by white knuckle? Like you're just barely hanging on, like I'm going to push for one more day. Eventually, the unsustainable things you are doing are going to catch up and you will fly off the rails. If you take it slowly, if you're slow and steady about it from the beginning and you're using normal foods that you actually enjoy, you'll get better progress because you can do it for longer. But that's not what this podcast is about today. It's about how confusing it is out there. And some of those people that are teaching what to eat and what not to eat kind of live that lifestyle. I met someone who, back when I used to sell supplements, which I only partnered with high quality supplements. It wasn't the cheap stuff. It wasn't, fillers and all this junk. I partnered with a great company. I still believe in them. I still buy some stuff from them for my own health and fitness. But somebody wanted to work with me. They're interested in supplements. They looked in the ingredients and like, I do not ever eat this chemical. I don't ever eat, whatever preservative was in it. It was like these multiple things. And I was like, hey, no problem. And I really don't care if people take supplements or not. I think she thought maybe I was going to care. And I was like, hey, no problem. How come you don't do those? Do you have like a health concern? Like I thought it was that. Like, is there like an underlying illness or something that you need to avoid those things? No, I just blah, blah, blah. I'm super healthy. Kind of arrogant, kind of came out of there. And then if you follow this person on social media, you quickly find out that this person regularly drinks alcohol. Now, I have nothing against alcohol. I will have a drink of alcohol from time to time. And so I'm not against alcohol, but if you're dodging all these chemicals and things and preaching that to the world, because she did on her social media accounts, like, do you know how bad some of these things are? And she probably has some good points, but then on the weekend, she's crushing beers. That is harmful on the body. We know that when we're drinking alcohol, that it is harmful. But then we wake up Monday morning like, I did not have red dye today. And it's like, you're kind of living that lifestyle. I mean, where do you draw the line with the chemicals and the preservatives and stuff? I think you're either in or you're all out on that. And so that's why I think it's confusing for people is these people aren't even living that life. The people that are preaching don't eat red meat probably occasionally eat red meat. There are some people that are insanely strict, and I'm not talking about them. For the people that can just eat vegetables every day and they never waver, I'm not really talking about them. I'm talking about these people that say, eat organic, and then on the weekend they have a Reese's tree. and then after they eat it, they're like, no, don't eat that crap. And they never post on social media about what, mess ups they actually have, because I can tell you they mess up. I can tell you I mess up, but I follow a much more flexible plan. And I've experienced food freedom because I went through all these confusing things where I did avoid red meat. I only ate chicken, turkey, and fish. I went through periods of that because I thought red meat was going to hurt me. I went through periods of zero sugar, and I mean zero. No fruit. I ate plain oatmeal, plain brown rice, everything plain. Zero sugar, as much as I possibly could. And that just wasn't realistic. I just couldn't do that anymore. I tried keto for 3 days, and I will never do keto. I now allow any food, and I know when to shut off the food. I do calorie tracking, and I think it is the easiest. I think it's the most sustainable, and it allows you to eat what you want. And so what I'm trying to do with this episode today is to give you a little bit of freedom. We need to look above the noise. Getting on social media or running ads on TV saying this food or this thing is bad, follow my way, is profitable, which is why you are going to hear more new plans coming out all the time. They're going to put a new title on an old way of eating that we've tried 1,000,000 times, and they're going to call it something different, and they're going to sell it for a price and get profitable for a number of years until people figure out that it's bogus and it's just a fad diet that you can't do long term. You have to look above this noise to the real thing, and it's always an overarching, general, simple rule. What we really need to do is move more. We need to get up off our butt and we need to move more. We need to eat less. We need to watch portions. See, portions is a general rule. Portions doesn't say, hey, you can't have donuts. It just means, hey, maybe you should only have one. And what's funny about this industry is there's going to be people that listen to this podcast and they are going to literally call me crazy. First off, you shouldn't be listening to this. Go listen to some organic banana person. I don't know. Go listen to that person. But they're going to call me crazy because they have all this science and all this data and all these convincing stories about how some of these foods hurt people. And they're probably right. But we have to tackle the number one thing first, and it's overeating. That's the number one. You got to go for the big boulder, not these tiny little pebbles and these small little details that just confuse people. Food is food. It's all calories, and it can all be okay as long as you keep it in check. You should always have a good blend of meats, vegetables, fruits, and, in my opinion, some treats. Because I think that helps keep us sane. So instead of me coming out with a new plan where it's like, hey, no veggies, all treats you can have. It's called the treat plan. I call it Treat 105. Call it Treat 105. Oh, how much is that? It's $97, and I send you this meal plan sheet to follow, and hopefully you do really well. So instead of me coming out with this bogus meal plan that you have to purchase from me, I'm going to teach you how to make this a lifestyle with any food that you actually like to eat. And then I'm going to encourage you to try to find some new foods that are lower calorie that you haven't tried yet that you might really, really enjoy and might help keep you on track. I hope that feels freeing. I hope that makes you feel like, there is a better way. Because there is. And that's probably a big reason why I made this podcast is this topic right here. Because I experienced the crappy fad diets. And what I do now, I can do forever. And I want you to have a piece of that too. Thanks for tuning in.